So right here it shows this is Star Wars theory, and if
Oh,
you
wait,
look
that
at
is what I was through.
the video views, right? So you've got
Yeah, it's
massive amount of views on these videos, and then you look at Star Wars Explained, and you can see the difference in how YouTube promotes positive content versus the outrage content, because there's no way that Star Wars, an IP that is vastly loved, but more so than the chuds hate it. There's no way you can tell me that content wouldn't get more eyes on it if YouTube were more aggressive about promoting it. So
right.
this tells me that it's not about like, oh, more people hate Star Wars than love it. That doesn't make any sense. That just doesn't make any sense. So you can't, these two things side by side, if you look at them here, it's just obvious that this is why, right here, I'll click back. This is why channels like Star Wars Theory, Nerdrotic, all these other channels eventually give in, because they are using the system that YouTube has allowed them to create, you know what I mean? Like to push them to the front of the algorithm. And there's just, I mean, you would have to believe, looking at these video views, like what is it, 445,000 views on a video, a negative video or whatever. You would have to believe by looking at this and then looking at like Star Wars Explained or any of these other channels that do popular Star Wars content. To look at this, you're saying like 98% of the people who enjoy Star Wars hate it. It just doesn't make any sense. The numbers don't make any sense.
Yeah.
So YouTube has to bear some responsibility for what's happening here, in my opinion.
Yeah. Star Wars wouldn't still be a thing if if that large majority of the fandom hated it.
I didn't mean to be stepping all over you, man. I hate to call back the content we did two fucking years ago almost, but Bob, you remember that stream we did where we looked at the talked about Jim the Casual, as well as like just the word woke. It was around Avatar time.
Algorithm. Yeah.
And we looked up some stuff about exactly how the algorithm works and like what it really does, as far as anybody can tell, because YouTube doesn't share this details. But like, basically what it does is it prioritizes content that you are going to just keep watching, not content that's true, not content that's substantive or informative or educational or even just like innocuous. It's just like all it cares about is, are you going to keep fucking watching this shit?
Yeah.
And then the human fucking mind is pretty stupid, generally speaking. And it like is drawn to conflict and fucking drama and sensationalism and shit like that. Unless you're kind of conscious of that stuff, it's really easy to get sucked down into it. Yeah, that's why society's fucked right now, man.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's other reasons, but that's
yeah, it allows plenty of opportunity for a foreign government to sneak money in and push certain agendas.
Hey,
I want to show something just to remind people about why we're doing what we do, just very briefly. So if you see here, this is an incognito tab where I typed in Star Wars The Acolyte, okay? And I want to be clear here, this is a tab without an account assigned to it, all right? The very first thing you get is a sponsored thing, fine, okay.
Yeah.
Then you get 2 official Disney trailers here, right?
That's usually better than I do, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, then you get another sponsor. So 2 sponsored things here within the first 4 searches. I see what you're doing, YouTube, scumbags. But then the very next thing we get is a Critical Drinker video. Right after that is Nerdrotic, sponsored, Legendary
Because,
TV, Emergency
Because
Awesome.
that's the problem. The
Critical
other problem
Drinker. Like
the fucking second layer of problems with this is that once that content is then identified as something people want to watch because like it's got that sensational conflict driven bullshit in it, then it prioritizes it even more because it's like, oh, it's the best content that people want to watch. We're gonna pump that fucking even
They
harder.
don't want to believe that though. They don't want to believe that they are given a head start because YouTube's algorithm puts them at the top of the search results. I've tested this over and over and over again. In the top 10, you will always see more of the Chud channels advertised than any of the other channels. Your top 10 results for your first search on YouTube should not be Chud channels. It shouldn't be. Your top 10 search should be a variety of content that represents exactly what you're looking for. When I type in Star Wars The Acolyte, I should get primarily content made by Lucasfilm and Disney in that search result. That should be what I get. There's no reason why I should get 2 trailers, 2 ads, and then immediately back-to-back Chud videos. That doesn't make any sense.
Nope.